What's up, everyone? Ron again, and I'm back from a short break because I was sick. So, we're back in Sytrus and we're covering the filter section and the effects section. So, if you look over here, you have different types of filters, but it defaults to this position, SVF, which is state variable filter. So, basically, what this means is that when you switch the cutoff point, the type of filter that it is will change. So it's going to become either high pass, low pass, or band pass when it's in the middle, I believe. You have resonance, which makes a small bump around the cutoff filter value, like an EQ notch. Not a notch, but like it increases, it makes a boost there, wherever it is. So say if hypothetically this is 500 hertz, then it's going to make a small boost at 500 hertz. So then you have the amount of the envelope, and you can blend in an amount so you can mix that together with the sound that's not affected by the envelope. So then right here, if it is a state variable filter, you have low, band, and high, so you can blend in the different types of filters that are there. You know, the idea is, I can show you actually, it's similar to Fruity Filter, which has the same idea. So it's a filter that's made of 3 filters, and you have the cutoff, but it affects all of them. They share the same cutoff. So if you increase this amount or decrease it, you are increasing the mixture of that particular type of filter. So that's cool to understand because it's useful. And one reason why you might do this is to make a sound louder if it's quiet. So if you look right here, you have the preamp. And what this basically means is you can turn up the incoming signal to increase the level of distortion or to push it more so that it will be affected by whatever distortion you choose. If you switch this is mode. And for a while I didn't understand what this was for. But it basically relates to the shape of the wave. So the wave is going to have a top half and a bottom half. But this is for an asymmetric wave, if you have one. So basically, if I went here, this is an asymmetric wave because it has no information on the bottom half. So now let's say hypothetically it did, because that's like an extreme case, right? But if you have one that has information on the bottom, but it just has less than is on the top, or vice versa, then you're going to use this because you will want to distort whichever side has less information more or less. You know, so let's say if there was less information on the bottom, you might want to distort it more and then distort the top less because you don't want to get artifacts that basically equate to like limiting. Like when this occurs and it's asymmetric, you can't make the sound as loud as you could. You know, and this is something which I don't expect for many people to have to deal with very much. I don't think I've ever dealt with it using Sytrus, but I don't think I typically make things that are asymmetric. So, but you know, now you can understand what happens when you switch to plus. When it's like this, it is applying the same distortion curve to the entire wave, whether it is 1, the amplitude is 1 or like -1. So whether it's above or below 0, it assumes that it's the same. So with that being said, you can explore over here that you have different types of filters. So if you go to this section right here, you can explore the different types of filters that are there. We got low passes, high passes, band pass, band stop. You know, all pass, which doesn't take away frequencies, it just affects phase. Low shelf, high shelf, which are like EQ. They don't filter all of the frequencies out. They just lower or increase them. And peaking, which is like a standard node on any EQ. And then you have a phaser here, and the purpose of the phaser in the filter section is so that you can phase on like in tempo without having to guess how fast to make the phaser go. And if you're here, This turns it off. This is 1 times, 2 times. So it increases the effect. It's like having a sharper filtering curve, you know? And these are alternative versions of that same thing. Then you have next. So if you turn up next and you are in filter 1, then it's going to put the sound from filter 1 into filter 2. And then you could do more filtering to it if you decided to do that. So that's a way to make it louder or to impose other effects on it. Filter 2 also has next. Filter 3 doesn't because it's the last filter. And if you're down here, it has the same controls as in the operator section, with the exception of having these low, band, and high, because you might want to adjust how the state variable filters behave to increase or decrease them at some point or over time. And you also have the cutoff value, which you can change in the same way. And you also have this is wave shaping to affect the shape when you press this. And this is to mix the amount of wave shaping that you want to apply distortion to the sound that's being filtered. And then you have the effects section, and we'll wrap it up with that. Over here you have a chorus, which doesn't really need much explaining. You increase the chorus effect by increasing the order, and it goes up to 9. You can pan. Then you have 3 serial delays. So they work similar to the delays that are plugins by themselves. Fruity Delay 3, Fruity Delay 2. So what's cool is that you can make them serial, right? And what that means is it's similar to this next slider here that sends the filter information here to the next one. That's what serial does for delay. So if you want to have a delay that is really fast, you would turn this down, the delay time. And if you hit tempo, it's going to be set to tempo, but if not, as you can see on the left, it's in milliseconds. So you might want to have one that's short with a lot of feedback. And then it'll go into the next one. And to make them, to apply them, you have to turn them on. But you have 3. And if you hit serial for the 3rd one, it goes into the reverb. And the reverb is basically the same reverb as freeverb. The reverb is basically the same reverb as Fruity Reverb 2. It has all of the same things, like it has the color, low cut and high cut. And the high cut starts from up here, so it's turned off when it's all the way up. Low cut is turned off when it's all the way down. This is pre-delay, room size, diffusion, the decay time, high dampening, which also is off when it's all the way up, and the volume, which is like a mix knob. And then to activate the effects, you turn them on here so you can mix them again. So let's say if you wanted the effects to be applied, but you don't want them to be that loud compared to the sound, even though you turn this all the way up, then you could do something like that. Or you could not turn this all the way up. It really depends on what you want to do. What I like to do with the effects section is I go to the keyboard, and if I have a sound that has bass in it, or I might use it that way, then I will make a point here and make it so it holds. So then this point won't change no matter what this one does. And then turn this all the way down, so when you play keys that are down here, they won't have reverb on them because you don't want reverb in the bass. And with that being said, that basically covers the rest of Sytrus. You know, you can explore Sytrus and you can look at the presets as well, because there are a ton of them. Like all of the ones that are up to right here, I made myself. So like these 2 rows are mine. But the rest of them just come with it. So that's cool. So there's a lot to check out, and I hope that this video provided value for you and that you gained something out of it. and that you understand Sytrus a little bit more, you can watch the rest of the videos in the series, and I hope that all of them are helpful to you. And with that being said, like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video if you will, because it will help me out. And regardless of what you do, have an awesome day, and God bless. Peace.